Hey YouTube, this is wtf007 and the topic I want to talk today about is atheism and why I have a problem with it. Um, the reason why I have a problem with atheism is that a lot of what I notice, and it's on the rise too, by the way, but a lot of atheists, to me, are against religion because of Christianity and the Bible. And I don't think that's a strong enough reason to convert to atheism.
Here's a fun game for you guys. Pick out how many errors were just in that statement. Okay, how many errors did you guys just find out in what she just said? First of all, where are you getting this information from, woman? I see no sources in your description, I see no sources in your video, and I think you're just basing this on your own presumptions and your own biased misconceptions of us atheists. Secondly, just because you're an atheist doesn't mean you're against religion. An atheist is someone who just lacks a religious belief. They don't have to be completely against religion. That would be an anti-theist. Finally, no one converts into atheism. They revert into atheism, if anything. Atheism is the default position wherein someone lacks a religious belief. And you convert to Christianity, you convert to Islam, you convert to Judaism because these are positive claims. Atheism is a negative claim and therefore is the default position for someone who does not have a religious belief.
Because I don't agree with the Bible at all. Some things I do, but a lot of things I don't. I think it's a very old, man-made text that's very contradictory in a lot of ways, and in some ways they describe God as just a very jealous, evil, vengeful God. So I know that's not a book that was made by God or, indoctrinated by him or whatever. But the problem I have with atheists is that they really Christian and Bible bash a great deal, and and I really feel their sole purpose is to like convert everyone into atheism.
It's at least somewhat comforting to know that you see all the contradictions in the Bible and the fact that your God is an absolute jackass. But what is disturbing to me is why you remain a theist despite knowing your God is a jackass and despite knowing all the contradictions in the Bible, knowing that it was written by man, and yet you still maintain this theistic belief. That's just a little disturbing to me.
And the thing is, if you as an atheist do not believe in God, okay, that's fine. If that's, I'm not a judgmental Christian. It's like you're gonna burn in hell because I really don't care what the hell happens to you. I'm thinking about my own family. But if you don't, well, don't believe in God, what is the problem with theists, like people like me that just believe there's a God and believe in a positive energy?
What's wrong with being a theist and being religious? Because religion hurts people.
Is do you have a problem with people that like just a concept that let's take away religion? Wouldn't it be okay to just believe in something good, something that will influence you to be good? Not harsh rules or anything, but just something positive.
No, I don't believe that's okay because your belief is one that is unfounded with any sort of evidence whatsoever. Not to mention that if you want it to be good and influenced to be good, why can't you just be good on your own? Why do you need something to influence you to be good?
Isn't it better to just believe in something positive than to not believe in anything at all?
Spoken like a true ignoramus. You clearly don't understand the atheistic position when you say we atheists don't believe in anything at all. To say that we don't is a straw man of the poorest quality, and I recommend that you don't do that again. We atheists, like you Christians, or like you theists, whatever you prefer to go by, do have morals and values that we abide by. And we feel that these morals and values can perfectly exist in our minds and that we can source them without needing to include a supernatural deity as the source of morality. To say that believing in something is better than believing in nothing is wrong because that is absolutely atrocious reasoning. Every sane and rational person would consider all sides and all the evidence presented in front of them in an objective manner. And if no conclusion can be reached, then no conclusion will be reached. And they will simply say that they don't know. rather than trying to stick to some possibility no matter how unsupported or how remote it might be.
Okay, for prayer, for example, a lot of atheists they worked really hard to get prayer out of schools, and you succeeded. I don't know what atheists think they won by doing that, because to me, if your argument is I don't believe in prayer because it indoctrines the rules of Christianity and saying the word God and obeying and all of this stuff, okay, fine. Would you have a problem with just not prayer per se, but contemplative thought or something? You could pray without using God, I guess. You can say, I wish the well-being of others. I meditate on helping people, and I meditate on my family having a good life and things like that. Would you be against that?
The problem many atheists have with prayer in public schools is that it's always biased towards one religion. Now, unless you're going to advocate starting a prayer for every single religion on the face of this earth, which I believe is about 30,000, not including each denomination of certain religions, then you're going to inevitably be biased towards a certain religion. And even if you somehow made that prayer non-denominational, you would still be biased against atheists and agnostics who do not take a stance in terms of a religion or a belief in a god or gods. Now, if you're talking about a period of contemplative thought, then I'll have you know that that's been something present in both my elementary and my secondary school right after the national anthem. It was called a period of silent reflection. And I had no problem with that. This period of silent reflection did not alienate me as an atheist, nor did it alienate anyone who had a religion or didn't have a religion. Oh, and a slight correction. Kids aren't prohibited from praying in schools. They're just not being enforced to pray in schools. They still can on their own free time. It's just not mandatory prayer. But even apart from that, there is a separate issue that many atheists, myself included, do have a problem with prayer. You say, well, you can pray without God in the prayer, like, I wish for the poor to be a bit more fortunate, but why do that? Just get to work. That's all we atheists are asking you to do is stop wasting time with prayer and get off your ass and do something about it. If you really want to change the world, then make it happen. And don't just sit there and hope that it'll happen. And if that sounds a little too harsh for you, then I apologize, but that's my true opinion on prayer. It wastes time, it's unproductive, and quite frankly, the only thing it manages to accomplish is make the person for 5 minutes feel a little warm and fuzzy inside.
And I have a problem with atheists because they throw science at everything. And the Big Bang Theory is a theory. I have theories too. That doesn't make it so.
Duh, of course. The Big Bang Theory is only a theory, and I have my theories too, which I'll share with you once I should explain the mountain of evidence that you just seemingly forgot to mention supporting the Big Bang, like cosmic background radiation, the expansion of space, the abundance of primordial elements, and just a whole multitude of evidence I haven't even scratched the surface of. So you know what my theory is? My theory is that you're a scientifically illiterate moron because you don't even understand the basics of the Big Bang Theory. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that atheists don't have to accept the Big Bang Theory in the same way that neither atheists nor Christians, or any theist for that matter, has to accept the theory of evolution, the theory of gravity, the cell theory, or the atomic theory?
Like I said, what's the point? What's the point? Why don't we just go straight to heaven or hell? No, because you have to grow as a person and earn your position. You're not going to be a full person if you don't learn. You know, when you don't go to college, boom, you just go to college. You have to learn. You have to study things, you know? So it's not that simple. And I think it's the same with the plane of heaven and hell.
Riddle me this then. If God really was omnipotent, why couldn't he have made us fully grown instead of having us to grow in this cruel and often inhumane test that we now call life?